Let me handle my BI with y'all first. What's good? What's good? Yes, the Daily Go Get a Business Show. uh. What's up? Yeah, let's get it popping. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm here. I'm not in my proper attire, and I don't even want to tell y'all why. I don't even want to tell y'all why, but we'll get into the how comes. We'll get into the how comes and why not later. All right, so here's what we doing. Here's what we doing. And put my uniform on, and then we can let the soul glow. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know how important it is to let your soul glow. All right, okay. Boom. Throwback Thursday. Throwback Thursday. Just hold on. Angle this oh so correctly. Make sure we get everything that we supposed to have. How are you feeling today? I need to know. I said, how are you feeling today? How are you feeling today? Hope you're okay. I said, how are you today? You're okay. Hold on. You're getting a little too much there. Oh, I know what's going on. I know what's going on. I normally have these back a little bit more. Yeah, no. There's too much red, not enough black and tan. Is that it? Can we win? Let me give it a I said, how are you today? I said, how are you today? And I really hope that you're okay. I said, how are you today? Say it with me, how are you today? Today we talk about if somebody's recording you without your knowledge, do you think that you might go off, or would you treat them like they were soft? Or maybe even you soft yourself, maybe you didn't like it but still go for wealth. Yeah, maybe even going for health. Watch it together, yeah, y'all still together. Most people would look at it as a sign of disrespect if they filmed you like getting your neck, or maybe some getting your neck. Yeah, they take you while you was having sex. I don't know how I would feel. Actually, I know how I would feel because it's happened to me. Yeah, it appeals. Some people just so trifling, and you know that life be life in. So we're gonna talk about it tonight. See if we can get it right. But what you do? Talking to each every one of you. Uh, uh, what? 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 But seriously, what would y'all do? If somebody you were going with, messing around with, possibly even married to, what would you do if y'all were having sex or any old kind of, private moment where you requested for them not to tape it, record it or whatever, and they just took the liberty of doing it. Now, I would imagine that an intimate act like having sex is would be handled a lot different. Be handled a lot more different than somebody taped your baby shower or something like. But even if it was a baby shower and you requested that nobody take your baby shower or your event for any reason, and somebody just went ahead and did it and possibly even posted it for other people to see. I don't know. Maybe like a baptism. Something like that might be very personal to somebody. Taking your shahada. I'm not sure if I've ever seen anybody taking their shahada. I gotta check with that. But nonetheless, a violation is a violation, right? Get into it tonight. We gonna see Throwback Thursday. Can we get into this way? It's Throwback Thursday. Let's get into it this way. My name is Sun752. I'm really great to see you. Or should I say I'm delighted? It feels good while I fight it. It's the 16th of the month, even though we celebrate the 15th. Everything is gonna be all right. Everything's gonna be okay. Gonna make things right. We'll turn the light. Urban Therapy with Sun752, and this your daily. It's the daily go-getter-mism show. You think it ain't when it is? You think it won't when it is? We are here and we are in motion. We do this thing, taking off fast lane, no coasting, and everything is gonna be all right. We talking about somebody secretly recording yourself tonight. What would y'all do? I know that this is something y'all been through. It's even happened to me. Let me see the tape first. Let me see. Nah, this not a good look. What we do if we start all over, maybe book another flight or another hotel room with a little more light and zoom. No zoom, nobody else can see. You done put that shit and now they see it in me. Well, I said, well. All right, hold on, man. Let's go ahead. There we go. Let's get this thing popping, y'all. Let's get it popping. I am ready. Oh my fucking goodness. Hold on. Ugh. Hold on. Oh shit. Okay. All right. Because now I gotta start the. I have to start some things over. Like y'all can see me, but I can't see y'all. Well, I can. I can still see y'all on the device. I mean, on the device, but I can't see y'all in terms of being able to interact with y'all. Uh, uh, give me a second. Uh, uh, uh. What up, Double D's? T Carry Ride. West is in the house tonight. Sorry about the delays. Sometimes that's how it plays. Still gotta get it popped. We do this thing non-stop. Uh, uh, and this thing in the computer has a nerve to have to update. I know I'm growing because years ago I would have lost my mind. Uh, uh. So as soon as my desktop finished rebooting, we'll be right back at you. Meantime, in between. Now it says it's 100% update, but the proof is not in the pudding. Troy Diesel. All right. So it's finished the update. Let me see. Let's go. Muévete, muévete, goddamn. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Hold on. Come on, let's go. Now, any other time, it would not take that long to reboot, but it had to update, which has me wondering, like, well, I'm thinking that the plug came out, but is that even the real reason? Is it? Is it? And okay. Come on, man. Hold on. We almost there, yo. We almost there. All right, I see myself on the screen. Um, Okay, so that's good. What the hell? Oh my god! All right. Do not start. Oh shit! This is a mess. Now I'm dragging pages over here. I'm sorry, y'all. This is mm, mm, mm. Okay. Okay. I think we good. Get this over here. Boom, boom. Okay. Fuck. Sheesh. All right. I think we good. I think we good. Ugh. Ooh. Ah. Ugh. I think we all right. Can y'all hear everything all right? That shouldn't have been affected. Y'all should be able to hear everything I'm doing. Can y'all hear me? Testing, testing, 1, 2, testing, testing, 1, 2. Cheryl Halsey is in the house. Let me see. It just means we have to stay on for an extra 49 minutes. Shit, damn, that did take a little bit of time. All right, we good. So y'all can hear everything, y'all can see everything. Make sure the phone lines are good. I think we all right. Oh my God. Mm, that shit made me work up a sweat in terms of frustration. Sheesh. What's going on, y'all? How y'all feeling? Oh my God. Throwback Thursday. Let's get real about relationships Thursday. Thanks for hanging in there with me, y'all. Y'all know that was we don't get that every night. We don't get that every night, but we here and we are in motion. We do this thing, taking off fast lane, no coasting, and everything is going to be all right. We asking, how would you feel if somebody that you were going with, or your spouse, or just somebody you were having sex with, if they recorded you without you knowing, and then they told you that they did it? How would you handle that? Now, some of us have been through that. Some of y'all may have found out that somebody had been recording y'all, and at least they were gracious enough to let you know that they had a tape of y'all doing the nasty. Y'all was up in there. You know what I mean? But people handle this differently. Where some people might say, "Well, let me see the tape, and I need a copy of that." Matter of fact, let me get the master copy, and you just take a regular copy. As a matter of fact, just give me the copy. We'll watch it together. Give me the copy, and I'll submit to you, whether I think it's okay for this to be handled in your care. I don't know. A lot of people would handle it in a lot of different ways, but how would you handle this? There's some people who can actually speak on this. I can. I know this happened to me. It didn't happen. Well, it was threatened to happen in a sinister way. It was threatened to happen to me in a sinister way, and I was like, "Yo, that ain't like um, I ain't had nothing to be ashamed of." But just in terms of respect and security, I'm like, that ain't cool. That ain't cool. Now, we'll get into that later because this it ain't about me. I mean, but how would you handle that? Because some people have had it happen to them by people who they were close to, and they've had to deal with that situation. Now, with some people, you may have had to have handled it, and you may have had to have handled that situation in a certain kind of way. Not everybody can be trusted with sensitive material. But in terms of something being respectful, what is more disrespectful then you may possibly having sexual relations with somebody and already being on the fence about it. Like, I don't know if I should or if I shouldn't. And then you find out later on that all of your deepest concerns and your worries are being confirmed because you find out that the person taped, you and them being together. Now, suppose y'all wasn't supposed to be together. Suppose y'all just had a chance encounter where y'all was, you know what I mean? Things got a little hot and heavy, whatever, you know what I mean? One night stand or whatever. It was supposed to be something that just happened between two people, consenting adults or whatever. And you found out that one of those consenting adults took a precaution that they shouldn't have taken the liberty of. Now that person can say whatever they want to say about the reason that they taped it without your consent. Maybe they were concerned that you would try to say that they raped you or something like that. Maybe they had been through that in their lives before and they wanted to make sure that they covered themselves. Okay, so if that was the case, why not let me know what's going on in the beginning? Why not let me know? You might even get a good superstar. I might be like Wesley Pipes on the joint. I might be like Wesley Pipes in the video. And for all y'all porn watchers out there, y'all, for the watchers of black porn, y'all know who Wesley Pipes is. You know who Byron Long is. You know who what was his name? Brian Pumper is. You know who Jake Steed is. I'm showing my I'm showing my porn age right there. But I mean, this is a serious thing. Your privacy in terms of your sexual behavior. Because if you knew that you were being taped, you might be extra when it comes to somebody, or you might be real hesitant, like, well, I ain't gonna do nothing, blah, 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 blah. Shoot, man, chicks might be worried about how their hair look. Or, maybe they didn't shave down there. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. Well, I mean, if you don't have a cameraman actually getting those close-up shots, and you see that somebody got real close-ups of entering and exiting, you're like, well, hold on, how you do that? Now, that's not normal camera work right there with just a tripod. So how would y'all handle that situation? Talk to me. All right, so it's showtime. Hold on, let me. Okay. Okay. We good. So I still don't feel like I have recovered. I still don't feel like I've recovered from that blackout. But we're gonna do our best, man. We're gonna do our best. Troy says you are telling us of something, son. You are telling us something, son. Okay. Or low and brow. Here's the good friends. All right, taping without consent is a straight violation. It is. I don't see how anybody could look at somebody taping a sexual encounter between parties involved as not a violation. I don't see how you could look. I don't see how you could just laugh that off like, oh my God, oh shit, you taped the joint. Now, if it was somebody that you had been with for a long time and y'all already had established trust with each other, that's one thing. Hold on. That would be one thing. But if it's a situation where you haven't even established trust with somebody and they're already taping you without your consent or without your knowledge, and it doesn't necessarily have to be a sexual encounter. Like I said, it could be something that you just didn't want for the public to see. Something like a shahada, something like a baptism, something like a gender reveal, a baby shower, how about a telephone conversation? With iPhones, they have a way for you to tape conversation with iPhones and possibly with Androids too, without a person knowing that they're being taped, without them knowing that they're being recorded. So, if somebody records a phone call, a telephone call without your knowledge and consent, and something happens and they want to use that phone call to prove something that you said or whatever, that wouldn't be admissible in court. But that's not to say that it wouldn't influence people who knew about it. That's not to say that your reputation wouldn't be damaged, because once people hear something or they see something, you can't make them unhear it. You can't make them unsee it, regardless of whether it cases you up in court or not. You know what I mean? And the court of public opinion, like we was talking about the other night, is still going to be applicable to you. So, somebody recording a phone conversation. How often would you have a conversation with somebody on the phone if you knew they were the type to record phone calls? Now, remember how we used to do it back in the day with the three-way calling? If you wanted to prove to somebody, I'm telling you, such and such be talking about you or whatever, they be talking about you behind your back. So you would set them up on a three-way call. So without them knowing that you had somebody else on the phone already, you would call somebody and try to encourage them to start talking the same kind of shit, rhetoric, or whatever that they were talking about the person who was on the line, because they don't know that the person is on the line. And you know how it was back in the day. Then your man would be like, "Oh shit, you be talking about me? Oh, it's like that," and blow up your whole spot. Now you know for setting people up on three-way calls. Now nobody trusts your snitching ass. You know what I mean? That's when your loyalty gets you in trouble. But I'm just saying that to say that we have experience in this with this situation from before. People been doing this, but this is bigger than a three-way call, because that three-way call still wasn't being recorded. In a situation where that somebody records phone conversations, how freely are you going to talk? You would probably be on some more. You may not even answer their calls ever again. May not even send them text messages ever again. Like, unless you talk to them in person, you probably wouldn't want to talk to them. And even in person, people can do little slick shit. Like, if you really want to record a phone call, just put your phone face down or even face up and press record like you're taking video, but just don't record any video, but you got the audio. A lot of people have done it. It's not a really, it doesn't take a whole lot of brain power in order to figure out how to do that. Shoot, our old heads showed me how to do that when cell phones were in their infancy. This was when video phones and camera phones, it just came out. My man, may he rest in peace to this day. He was living in a halfway house, and he didn't like the way the halfway house was talking to him and dealing with him and all of that. And so what he used to do was be like, at the halfway house, that he had to turn in his phone every night. So he would just throw the phone on the table, but the phone was recording. The phone was either recording, or he had already dialed the number of the person he wanted to hear the conversation. So they don't know. They thinking he just threw his phone on the table or whatever. He don't know that it's a live line going on, so they can hear the conversation, so he can prove that things are being said at the halfway house that are inappropriate, or maybe even a straight illegal violation. So are you a tourist? What are you talking about? Talking about freaky ass beads. Now you're saying that's not cool. So no Pornhub before sleep. Damn, I don't know what the fuck you talking about. I hope that you are coming in good faith, because if you're not, you're gonna go bye-bye. And I don't like to make people go bye-bye, but you know what I mean? Just know that I have my eye on you. You know what I mean? I don't want to have to give you a slap on the wrist or straight get you fuck on up out of here, because I'll do it. But it's all good. For right now, we all right. For right now, we straight. My man Troy Diesel is on the line. What up, my dude? How you feeling tonight?
I can't complain, man. What's going on with you, bro? Everything good?
Well, no, I can actually complain. I'm going to take
I mean,
a couple of minutes
you
out
could
to
have complained.
complain.
Yeah, a couple of minutes ago, you could have complained, bro.
Yeah, I'm complaining anyway. Shit ain't, yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, I don't like for shit not to go right. I think I live my life in a way where everything should go my way. That's all.
Well, that's why I asked you. I had put in the text messages in the chat. I said, I know right now you feel like you can use a Zima right now or a Lowenbrow.
Oh, that's what you was talking about. Okay. Yeah, I wasn't, all I know is weekends were made for Michelob. You know what I'm saying? Throwback Thursday, Miller time, shit.
And then you took me down porn class 101, running down all the names. Only thing you needed to do there was run down Ebony Eye, Teaser Ray, Amber Ray. Vanessa Del Rio. What the fuck?
Man, listen. It is what it is. But yeah, man, so I was thinking about this topic tonight. Like, what would you do if, like if somebody was taping something, like an interaction between you and them, and they didn't let you know that they was taping it. Now, I know if and when it happened to me, I'm thinking like, well, you may say that you did it this time. You may cop out to it this time, but how do I know you haven't, if this isn't the first time me and you have had an interaction, how do I know that this is the first time that you've ever taped it? How do I know that you already don't have a library or a catalog or whatever, and you just let me know about this one to see if it's okay for you to bring out the rest of the collection that you have? You understand what I'm saying?
So and then you also got to remember that, it sounds, sometimes it's tempting to sit back and say that you want to get upset at it. But then you have to understand sometimes the vindictiveness of a female or the vindictiveness of a male, because we're living in a social media age that, you get in an argument with one another, all of a sudden, that's what they want to say. They might try to post that. They might try to do something that's detrimental to your career by posting certain situations that you done. So I mean, I'd rather not have that type of thing in somebody's phone or have that type of thing in somebody's hand unless we both
Facts.
are on board with that.
Fact, and with the Diddy trial going on right now, this wouldn't be a good time to be taping people and letting people think that you tape them without their knowledge and consent and all that. This ain't a good time for all of that. People on edge right now, like, you know what I mean? That's not a good look. But I don't really think.
The funny thing about that, right, son, is that just imagine, you and your significant other who did that taping, right, and you didn't even know she taped you, and then y'all get in an argument, and she sit back and say, you motherfucker, you nasty bastard. That's why you eat ass. And you be like, I don't eat no ass. I don't do nothing like that. I would never do nothing like that. You say, yes, you do. Look at this good. Look at the video, y'all.
You know what? You know what's funny about you saying that? I have never met an ass eater that was in any way shy about the fact that they eat ass. There's something about eating ass that makes motherfuckers proud as shit of that shit these days. I don't understand.
You right, I do it. You did it right, I do it, and I do it again.
Yo, they on some other shit. Hold on a second. Hold on.
You have a call from.
All right, we have another caller. Caller with the last numbers 0128. Welcome to the Daily Go Getimism Show. Thank you for calling in. What's on your mind tonight? What's good?
Oh, hey, I'm not trying to. I'm not trying to cut him off. He can go ahead and finish whatever he was saying.
No, you go ahead and speak.
Okay. Okay. So you're up on my TV, and while I'm on the line.
You letting us know you recording us?
Exactly.
I appreciate that.
Thanks for letting us know that.
Please, I'm a little shy. I would appreciate if you would put a little towel over your recording device. You know what I'm saying?
It's funny.
But somebody in the chat came in and said Trump 2025, and it just reminded me of how the grab him by the pussy came out.
Grab him by the pussy, yep.
Because somebody was recording him and he had no idea that was going on. And I was like, oh, yes, Trump. I just thought it was interesting that they would come in and do Trump in.
Do you think that that's part of the reason some people let it go? Because
he didn't know.
He did.
Yeah.
Any other politician would have been disqualified. That would have messed him up. It really would have. But with him, it actually seemed to have helped him with some people, or authenticated him with some people. But of course, the public had already had a relationship with Donald Trump before he ever became president or even ran. So that may have actually factored into it also. But anyway, so yeah, I mean that was an incident in a moment in time that's very noticeable. I mean notable, and I can't front. Even hear him say the things that he said, you kind of had to take it with a grain of salt. Now, as much as I hate Trump, somebody taping you without you knowing it, that's the thing. Trump will say shit right there on camera too. So there's that part.
But that doesn't make what they did right.
No, it doesn't. But you know, like,
that was dirty. Now, what was dirtier is the fact that he was actually grabbing bitches by the pussy, but that's a whole other.
But then there's that
story.
And taping bitches. He was taping people without them knowing. Remember, like he got mad. He got mad footage. Young girls and he Trump nasty as shit, nasty ass president.
Doing the beauty pageant and stuff like that.
Nasty ass president, yo. Nasty ass president.
Yeah, that's one thing. But one thing about that whole situation, not that about that situation. You also brought up the situation about, putting the video on and just letting the audio take. Now, I've done that when I was working at the Rittenhouse Hotel in the kitchen. Like I said, I'm a chef for a living. One of my supervisors, the sous chef, who was pretty much, a complete asshole. So every time he would say something out of his mouth or he would walk towards me, I would set my phone up in my pocket because I always was listening to music, but I would set my audio on my phone just so I can have what he's getting ready to say to me on audio.
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, when you're dealing with these white chefs, is your word against their word. And 9 times out of 10, these white chefs are going to get the benefit of the doubt when it comes to a black chef in these kitchens.
Okay.
So every time I talked to him, I did that.
You know what? But the thing is, because you taped him without his knowledge of him being taped, you would never be able to use it. Even in HR, you wouldn't be able to use that tape because.
And I thought the same thing, but I just wanted to have it just to have it. So,
I understand. I do. I
my court of public opinion will be nice.
Well, that would be your court of personal opinion. Like I'm trying to tell you, this cat is on some other shit. But I tell you what, I was working at a job before, and it was a union job, and they were Teamsters. And I swear, that union was strong as shit. You better not tape somebody or whatever, and that union find out about it because they was throwing all of that shit out. They was getting mad evidence of employee misconduct thrown out. I thought it was great. And then one time I caught this employee. I caught this one employee. This wasn't at the same job. That's the only reason I remember that it worked. At this other job, it was a union job also. I went in a break room. This wasn't even an official break room, but I went in this room and these employees used to take breaks in there. And this one employee was on the clock. He was knocked the fuck out. I'm here with my phone. I taped him for about 5 minutes. I taped him. He was asleep long enough for me to check to see if he was actually on his break or not. Because when he woke up, he was like, oh yeah, no, I'm on my break. His break had ended like a half an hour ago. I had enough. I said, you on your break? I said, all right. I said, but look, your break is over now. So, go ahead and get back to work. So, by the time I found out that his break had been ended, I think he had took his break like a good while before. He wasn't on his break, not an authorized one anyway. But yeah, and that actually was admissible, but not because of the tape, because it was, because I was a manager. I mean, they was gonna take my word. Plus, I had the fucking tape. I'm like, yeah, this is the bull. Look, and this is the part where he's dreaming about. This is where he's counting sheep, and this is the part where he obviously was dreaming about spiders. Watch him jump. You know what I mean?
And he also was dreaming about that tape that he didn't find out that the girl had did about him the night before.
I think this was an innocent time. He was dreaming about the time when he was sitting on his grandmother's lap. You know what I mean? Yeah. Oh, grandma. Oh, grandma. You can't get to no better days until you make it through the night, baby.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So yeah, that one guy, 82, says in public spaces you can record anyone. That's true. You can record anyone in public space, but it's still it can still be deemed inappropriate. Because you could be doing something private in a public space. Now it'd be hard to argue that in court.
If you can videotape a crime in public places, and it could be admissible in court because that's evidence. But you cannot record on a job.
Right.
That will not be admissible in HR or inadmissible in court. What
I mean is, you can be doing something private in public. Let's say like breastfeeding. Right. You know what I mean? You breastfeeding, and so you could tape somebody breastfeeding, but you zooming in right on the titty, like, yeah, yo, he on that nipple. You know what I mean? Like, how did you get the picture? How did you get on video the other titty that wasn't even being sucked? Like, that ain't even the feeding titty. How'd you get that?
Well, he pulled it out.
I'm like, and wait a minute. That ain't no baby. That man looked like he about 42. Oh, that was a separate tape. That was a separate tape. So, but yeah, and taping in a public space won't stop somebody from smacking the phone out of your hand, or smacking your hand out of the phone, or smacking you off of the.
I just recorded like 2 days ago in a public space at Target. I was trying to go to Target as soon as they opened. Had to get some stuff. Apparently, me and about 12 other people, we were all standing out there, and they were opening late. So I started recording, because we could see them, and they were acting like we weren't even out there. And where I am, it's a pretty diverse neighborhood. Some people speak up more than others. Anyway, when the manager finally opens the door, like 15 minutes, it might have been 10 or 15 minutes. I know it was more than 10. Later, she didn't even like look at the crowd, saying, "Oh, I'm so sorry," whatever. I know one lady, she had a sick baby, had to pick up the baby, medication that was called in. Didn't even say anything. I'm taping the whole time. I'm recording the whole time. I didn't even give two shits. And I felt like I had the right to do it because they have cameras right outside. Like, they have cameras everywhere. They have cameras everywhere. So I was like, yeah, I'm going to record this and put it on TikTok. I'm about to upload it this weekend.
Okay.
Follow me on TikTok. But
okay.
But for real, it's like
considering this target, they should be begging you to come in. Considering the DEI stuff and how much business they lost.
yeah.
Considering that, they should be sitting up here opening up the doors early. Matter of fact, they should have donuts and coffee at the front door.
They really should. They really should. And believe it or not, everyone is stood in solidarity.
The funny thing about it, if you really want to get people to come back in there, put some fried chicken at the front door with some collard greens and macaroni and cheese.
Not in the county. But not in the county. But it maybe some sushi. I don't know, but not fried chicken, baby. We not.
Okay, we good. Okay.
We're not doing that.
In the county, what, in Delaware County?
I'm telling you that in Springfield, okay, they are. You can't put fried chicken at the door and to draw people.
You could get from me though. I ain't that far from there. I'm at Fallcroft. I'm in between Fallcroft and Yaden. So yeah, you could. I'll just come there for myself. Then I'm cool.
You putting this chicken out?
And I'll videotape it and post it.
All right, hold on, y'all. Hold on. All right, but on a serious note,
yeah.
Have you ever been recorded by somebody without your knowledge? And I'm not talking about no random stranger. I'm talking about somebody that you were close to, somebody that you may have trusted or were trying to establish trust with, and were prevented from doing that because of this little sneaky shit, this little sinister thing that you were doing. I mean, that they were doing. This is not really a small thing. You know what I mean? When you consider the fact that you can't be private with somebody that you are in private with, that's not a small thing. You know what I mean? Because that can have a great impact on how you deal with other people. You know, it can raise your anxiety levels if you're the type of person who suffers from anxiety. You know what I mean? You were already anxious or nervous when it comes to dealing with people that you don't know, and now you got to be anxious and nervous about being alone with people who you do know, because that shit is like that shit is equivalent to like a sexual violation. You know what I mean? Like,
it's not. It is a sexual violation. It is a violation, and to answer your question is yes. It happened to me twice. One time I was like 21, and like I had a regular casual relationship with this person, and we were friends. We did we made music together. We were a producer, and yeah, I didn't even know he had done it until somebody from high school told me they saw a video with me in it. So that fucked me up. Because I like to stay low key, I like to stay low key. So I was horrified. I was absolutely fucking horrified. And I threatened the person. Because I knew it could only be, it's one of those things. At 21, you only, at least for me, I could boil it down.
Yeah. No, I hear you.
Yeah. So, and then the second time it was my ex-husband,
Huh?
And yeah,
Okay.
and yeah, he had set up his laptop. And my thing is like, you're my husband. Had he told me, I would have been like, hold on, let me get an outfit. Let me. I don't wear wigs and stuff like, but you know what I'm saying. I would have done something. Let's put on a show. Let's
Yeah.
let me take a shot and let's go all out. I
Yeah.
just thought it was weird. And it's not like it was in the beginning of our marriage. We were well into our marriage. So I just thought I was actually pissed because he knew what happened to me back when I was 21. So I'm just like, well, why would you try to sneak a fucking video? Like, that doesn't even make sense. It didn't make sense to me. It still doesn't make sense to me to this day. So I actually got pissed off and like deleted it.
You know what? Why would a spouse? What the question that comes to my mind immediately is, why would a spouse have to secretly tape their spouse and them having a intimate encounter? Like,
I mean, I can think of a reason. If you have a spouse that doesn't, maybe you like, you guys don't have sex often. Maybe they don't do the certain things that you like very often, only on, like, Valentine's Day and your birthday, type shit. I'm not that spouse. That's not me.
even with that.
So it didn't make sense. You understand what I mean?
No, it still doesn't make sense to me, even in that regard, because you if you marry somebody, you should already know if they are right with being taped or not. And if you know for a fact that they aren't, like, why would you do that? You understand what I'm saying? Like,
no, I do. I'm just saying, you ask why would some people do that? I'm not saying their reason for doing it is right. I'm just saying that there are people who, maybe they don't get it a lot. They want to be able to jerk off or whatever, later on, and they know damn well that he or she is not going to give them some ass until next Christmas. So, so somebody might be like, I'm
that's a hell of an intimacy schedule right there, boy.
I'm just
like, I can pencil you right around the Great Pumpkin time.
You go with the Great Pumpkin again. You love the Great Pumpkin.
The Great Pumpkin is coming, man. I mean, y'all understand.
Shit, well, somebody caught me on a video before. I went to matter of fact, I went to 22nd Street Cafe down the way, son.
Okay.
L Train's bar, Lionel Simmons bar. So I'm in there, karaoke night. Now certain songs I kill it, but this one song I was already buzzed. I was drunk as hell, so I was just bugging out with the song, and somebody videotaped me.
Okay.
And I didn't know. I go to the barbershop. My boy, he hooks his phone up to the damn flat screen TV. And all of a sudden, I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
You're mad you going to the barbershop and you bugging out and you cracking jokes and enjoying yourself in the barbershop, and all of a sudden somebody posts you. Like, damn. Somebody took, man, when I seen that chick that did that, she was with her dude. Right? So it was all my boys in there, and she was with her dude, he was with his boys and stuff. I said, listen, my man, do me a favor, please allow your female friend to know that payback's a bitch, because if I see your bitch in here with another dude, I am going to take a picture, I'm going to videotape her, and I'm going to post it. You understand? I said, because see, it's one thing, certain things that you just don't do. Number one, you don't know me. Especially when you don't know a person and they just, you videotaping them, enjoying themselves, and you just posting shit. How you know that somebody might have been looking, if somebody was looking for me to kill me?
Yeah. I mean,
You know,
You,
it's certain things you sitting up here. How you know if I wasn't under the witness protection program?
how do they know?
You don't know this shit. What you saying?
No. It's a real genuine concern. It's a legitimate concern.
It's just shit that you don't. I'd rather you video like. And when you was talking about why people videotape themselves, like if your husband is a truck driver and he's driving across the United States, maybe that might sustain him until he come home, and, like seeing videos of you and your wife getting it in. You know what I mean?
Sneak?
So that,
but why sneak?
Why sneak?
No, I'm not talking about sneaking. I'm talking about he shouldn't sneak and do it. What I'm saying, it should be a mutual thing. If a person's sneaking doing that, then at the end of the day, you have every right to disrespect them, be ignorant with them, shit. If that's some people that will look at grounds of divorce.
For some people, yeah.
Because at some point in time, you don't know if that might not be the first time. If a person videotaping you without your knowledge in an intimate environment, that's not the first time they did that. Not just if you're not in a deep relationship, that's not the first time they did that to you or with somebody else. They've done that before.
Now, even if it is the first time that they've done it, it's going to be really hard to convince you that it's the first time that they've done it because of the sinister nature in which they presented it this time. Like, what's going to make me think that you are doing this in good faith in any kind of way? Like, this shit ain't cool. But but I heard what you just said when you were saying that that could be grounds for breaking up, grounds for divorce. I don't know if it'd be if I think that it would be strong enough to end a divorce unless you could honestly say that they let it out to the public or something like that. But it would serve as a way to destroy any trust that you had for your spouse and confirm any reservations that you had against your spouse. You know what I mean? Like, I always had a feeling that they was on some other shit, and look, I was right. And sometimes there's some things that can happen between you and another person where you hope to hell that you're never right about the things that you suspect. And something like this can make you be like, well, ain't this some shit? I'm in love with a bitch. You know what I'm saying? Like, this shit ain't cool. But yeah, it happened to me before too. One time I was messing around with this chick, and and to be honest with you, I was always on the fence about this chick because I knew that she was the type to violate in certain types of ways. When you're dealing with somebody who has some people have a bad temper, like on some old, don't mess around with this person, don't play around in this person's face, or however you want to put it. And then some people are just on some loose cannon, just waiting waiting for a chance to get you back for things that don't even deserve retaliation. They really are the type that will get you before you get them. So they're always looking for a way to get you first, to let you know that they ain't to be played with, as if you are to be played with. Anyway, so I was messing around with this chick, and I really didn't like her that much, but we messed around for a while. This is when I was still in my. Was I in my?
Why you laughing?
Because she was like, I ain't really like her, and I knew she wasn't shit, but we were messing around for a little while.
It was literally a situation like that because that wasn't the first time I messed around with somebody who I wasn't really feeling like that. It wasn't because they was ugly or nothing like that, but sometimes
life be life, bro.
Listen, man, sometimes you get a certain vibe about a person, and I had a vibe about this person. You understand what I'm saying? First of all, she was the type that played around with electronics. She was into recording devices and shit like that. You know what I mean? So, when people like that.
Did she like the
Hold on, say it again. No. No, she wasn't. No, she was into recording devices. She wasn't into the buzzes and all of that. I mean,
she wasn't into the roses.
She had
things like that.
She had freak in her, but she ain't had a.
She had a Cassie freak.
She might have had it, but listen, just because you have the quantity doesn't mean that you have the quality. You know what I mean? So, bottom line is, she was the type that would try to punish you for trying to break up with her or separate from her. She was on that type time. So one time she used to have all of this security surveillance equipment all in her house. So she tried to tell me that she had taped us doing it and that she was gonna alter the video to make it look like it was a gay video and all of this shit. I said, go ahead. Let me see how you do this. And turns out she only had the thing didn't record the whole thing. It only recorded, it was like a dark black and white video. This wasn't at a time where we had the quality HD, videos and all that kind of shit. But
that shit was like the fucking movie She's Gotta Have It with Spike Lee. The black and white.
Well, it was black and white. At least the part where she fucked up was she told me about it and then she showed me the video. So I said that was the worst thing that she could have ever done, because once, like with me, the worst thing you can ever do is let me know that you are a grimy or slimy person. All you have to do is show me that you are the type of person that will bite somebody's back out on some old petty shit. And yeah, you know what I mean? Like you ain't going, you'll never get a chance to walk that back. And she was real offended by that. I said, the fact that you would even try to threaten me with that shit, like that's going to keep me in the box. Like, what the fuck do you think this is? You know what I mean? Like, you can't make nobody want to be with you. And I was like, on a real, why would I want to be with somebody who would do that shit that you was doing? I mean, really, I was like, I said, why would any man want to be with you when you're the way that you are? And it was like, well, I mean, you can't say, I mean, I'm a good person. I was like, the fact that you have to explain all of that, use a flea. You know what I mean? So, you take your little video and all of that kind of shit, because anybody who knows me, once they see that my name is on that, on my video, on any video or whatever, I'm safe. Trust and believe. And, she spent the remainder of the time trying to walk off that video or whatever. And you know how people will try to make it seem like you the petty one because you refuse to put up with the bullshit. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know if y'all have ever had it flipped on y'all like that, but I was like,
yeah, no. I've had it flipped on there.
Yeah. Well, she went for it. She tried it, and I was like, eh.
You can't walk back from that. You can't do that. You can't do that. Not only did she record. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, talk, man.
Not only did she record you without your knowledge, but then she tried to fucking blackmail you in the scene.
I couldn't fucking believe it.
Into what? To being with her? That is the crazy. Now, I know that there's some crazy broads and dudes. I've had a few cases, but it's just like, I don't get it. What does she think? A move ha ha ha. Like you're gonna be with me because otherwise, or do what I want you to do because otherwise I'm gonna show this video of us fucking. What? It just doesn't make sense. I don't even know how she thought she was gonna fix that. What was her goal? Like
the first thing she said to you was that she was going to edit it and make it look like a gay video.
Yo,
what? If you was an abusive man, did she realize what could happen to her?
First of all,
see, that's the part.
Well, the good part about it was she told me this over the phone, and the other good part about it was, I don't think that well, I know that at the time she didn't understand how I handle threats. Some men succumb. I mean, many, not just men. There are many people who are so concerned about their image and their reputation and shit like that that they will succumb to threats and comply with threats and stuff like that, and blackmail and extortion and all of that. But those are people who are in a certain kind of life that they don't want to come out. I've never been involved in any shit that I was afraid would come back to bite me in my ass. One thing I made sure of when I got into show business was like, none of this shit that I've ever done before is going to come back and hurt me. So it ain't no gay shit on my resume. I ain't coming back like Kanye. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, me and my cousin. Me and cuz, but he was only my first cuz. But anyway, so no, none of that gay shit, none of that pedophile shit, none of that sexual. I don't have none of that. So I was like, do with it what you will. I was like, what's going to happen is any women who see this video, guess what? You ain't doing nothing promoting, but promoting. And she knew that shit too. Like, maybe I shouldn't release the tape, bitch. You already know. You out of your goddamn mind? Shit, I'm looking at the video myself, the little clip. I'm like, so what platforms are you releasing this to? So so I'll know what to tell my lawyer. Anyway, that's a violation. It's a violation, and for somebody to reveal themselves like that, once you just what they say, trust is one of the easiest things to destroy and one of the hardest things to rebuild. And that's a fact. It's easy. You can lose trust with somebody or for somebody easy as hell. But getting that shit back, really, really believing that somebody will never do something bad to you again that they have done continuously before, man, that's a long ass road, man. That's like thinking that a polar bear is not going to eat you every time. Like, a polar bear wouldn't eat me. It's seals around here.
Mm-hmm.
The seals are like, it's humans around here. He ain't eating us today. You know what I mean? Polar bear eating us. He making human sickles. Like, I'm gonna freeze me a human today. You know what I mean? For them cold days, I don't feel like eating no seal. You know what I'm saying? I ain't into no fish.
A polar bear looked at me and be like, hey, you know how long they're going to eat a big ass human? Wait to find a big ass like you.
Yeah, man. Yeah, so.
And you dark meat too? And you dark meat? Oh, I'm gonna fuck you up.
But yeah, so.
Yeah, it's hard to come back from something like that. I know it was for me. And it was really messed up because, as far as intimacy was concerned, that was no matter what, that was an area where we thrived, and that, like, what he did, it really didn't make sense to me. To this day, it doesn't make sense to me, even though it was so many years ago. Like, you're talking about 2010 is when this happened, so it was a long time ago. I haven't been with him since 2016, but I stopped wanting to be, intimate with him. And a couple of times, the few times when we were, I legit was like, "Where's your laptop? Where's your laptop? Oh, it's downstairs." And then a couple times it was like on the side of the bed on the floor. I was like, "What the fuck?" Like, I don't know. I couldn't get it out of my head. I couldn't trust him after that. So I had no interest. He was already doing stuff that violated trust anyway. That did not help.
Yeah.
Like one time I got I did a comedy show. I forgot, it was at a ballroom, sir. And I think I went down there with Malcolm. I think either one of the comedians was videotaping, but before they started videotaping, I was sitting at the bar. It was me and Malcolm. I was getting a drink. And the girls was walking around, and it was a lot of Duncan Heine around.
Duncan Heine, a lot of cake.
Duncan Heine, bro, a lot of cake. So that cake walking by, and I'm like, God damn. I said, I love my black women. Well, I love me some black women, especially the thick kind. All of a sudden, I get 2 days later, I get home, I'm sitting down, my people come up to me, give me their phone. Listen to this. I want you to listen to this. My voice is on the phone. Somebody will videotape me saying that and posted it. They post the whole thing as they was walking to the stage.
Wow. Yeah. Now
that shit felt like I lost the prices right. Oh,
yo, them horns, boy. Them horns.
It was like, you know how you just feel like the day is beautiful. The sun is shining, the birds birding, the damn butterflies is butterflying. It tastes different outside. The dew is dewy. Everything is beautiful outside. And then somebody just said, here, listen to this. I want you to look at this video.
You changed it.
That motherfucker.
Here's the B-side. The B-side of Ice Cube. Today was a bad day.
Yes, it was. Why? That shit fucked me up, boy. That shit fucked me up. And so it don't really have to be you making the video. It can be other people making videos and fucking you up.
I'm glad you brought that up because every negative incident with people trying to record you or whatever, or successfully recording you without your consent or your knowledge or whatever, it doesn't always have to be sexual. It could just it could still put you in a precarious position or in an uncomfortable position, or in a position where you have to answer questions when you haven't really done anything on purpose or whatever, but it can still look like what it looks like, or look like what it looks like to other people, and maybe the wrong people. So so I want to talk about that for a minute. Like, what are some of those? What are some other incidents, some other situations that people might take the liberty of recording without your consent?
Remember Kramer?
Okay.
When he was doing a comedy show.
Oh well, no. He had to expect. No. You getting taped at a public venue.
But they wasn't taping him until he started using the N-word.
He bought that.
Yeah, he did buy it.
Anytime you step on stage
you almost expect to be recorded.
Yeah, that he ain't had no choice. You know what I mean? That was on him.
Okay, how about if you record somebody at work stealing work time or stealing people's lunches out of the refrigerator?
Ooh, okay. Well, that sounds like a noble thing to do. Because listen, if you've ever had your lunch stolen at work, you know what I mean? You know the rage and the violence that courses through a nigga veins when he been thinking about this hummus and tortilla chips and somebody. I had a whole big tub of hummus stolen out of the refrigerator before. I was like, it was a good flavor too. You know what I'm saying? This was the caramelized onion shit. I was like, wait a minute. This was premium hummus right here. You know what I mean? My hummus eating days, I was like, I almost understood why they stole it, but who steals hummus? I'm a black man. I ain't got no business eating hummus. I just started my health journey.
I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that.
But
yeah, but that's that part right there. Or videos when if you see your boy wife with another dude.
okay, now wait a minute. Because the stealing the lunch thing is not a violation by the person who's taping. That's the thing. You may, as the thief or the violator, you may not want that recorded, but that person has every right to record that crime.
Yeah.
The same thing with the person that's cheating. Now, I'm talking about in areas where you are innocent, you are an actual victim. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I was talking about before when people record phone calls. So like I know not to really talk to you, on the phone because you're the type that goes a little extra mile to prove your point. Like, no, that's not what you said. And here it is right here. Right, okay, all right. Okay. Well, we won't be.
Can I ask you a question?
Lose my number. Yeah, go ahead.
Do you consider a dash cam recording without consent?
No, that's your car.
But if you if I get into an accident with someone and they don't realize that I have a dash cam, that's not, you don't consider that recording without consent? Okay.
No.
Okay.
When you're out there on the road, a lot of people have dash cams, to record like police activity and things like that, and just in case they get stopped, or get caught driving while black and all of that. So no, I don't consider that. I think I consider it to be a violation for a cop to violate you, or to violate your civil rights or your regular your regular rights or whatever. No, no, and motherfuckers want to, just because you think it's your liberty to act a fool does not take away my liberty to record you acting a fool. Because at the end of the day, a dash cam is in public. Your car ain't in the house. It's not in a place of business. So no, you should have your dash cam running, especially since car insurance companies, they want to dispute certain things or raise your premiums, but even when it's proven that it wasn't your fault and things like that. Nah, you need as much disposable evidence as possible to be able to prove your case, because that can save you money, time, reputation, money. It can save you a lot of money. Yeah. So no, not dash cam. I'm, like I said, telephone calls. Like when places like bill collectors call you, you notice they always have to tell you that you're on a recorded line, or the call is being recorded. And little do you know, you have the right to reject that. You can tell them, all right, no, I'll talk to you, but I request not to talk on a recorded line. Now, more than likely, they're going to hang up because they don't want to do that. Because once you submit to talking on a recorded line, it's just like being in court. Everything that you say can and will be used against you, just in case, you didn't pay, or you said, all right, well, I'm gonna pay y'all, or you admit to owing them when they probably have already sold the account. So you don't owe Macy's anymore. They bought the account from Macy's. Your shit already been charged off. You ain't got to pay that shit ever again. It can mess up your credit if they already reported it to the credit bureau, but they can't force you to pay that money to somebody that you never owed. So these credit card companies buy these accounts that have been charged off, and then they call you pretending like they are the company. Like, this is Home Depot, you're late on your card, blah, 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 blah. But if you don't know that and you agree that you owe them, now you're agreeing that you owe the person that called you, and that's not the person that you owe. So on a recording line, on a line that was never recorded, they'll never be able to prove that you said that you owe anything. But if you do say it and they have it on record, then they can, now you do owe them. You understand what I'm saying? So so this recorded line shit is very important. But there's so many things that are shown to us, but until they are explained to us how they work, we may not know. And we wind up, I'm not telling anybody or encouraging anybody not to pay their bills, but the same way that you're supposed to pay your bills, the company that you owe it to is supposed to make sure that you only pay them.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Rules are rules. You didn't write the laws. They did. So the same way that it benefits them in certain ways because they know how it works, you should know and educate yourself on how it works too. So now you can make better informed decisions.
Shit,
Motherfucker.
One thing about society, we're right as of right now. The George Orwell book, when it said Big Brother is watching, 1999, we've been part of that for years right now.
Man, it's bad.
Big Brother is watching. No matter where you go, no matter where you're at, you can. That's why I don't understand why people even think about committing crimes and shooting people, because no matter where you commit the crime at, you got to remember you got the cameras on the poles, you got the cameras on. Then you got the ring cameras at almost every house.
Mm-hmm.
So no matter where you commit the crime at, you're being filmed. And then it's not just. I'm looking at these shows, man. I look at these police, your police videos, right? And I've seen them follow the person goes into the store. Now I don't understand why they go to the gas station to get candy, something to eat, some nourishment before they go shoot somebody. But maybe they need that. I don't know. Mm. But then they leave the gas station. Then they'll go to the place. They'll camp outside the house. They'll shoot the person when they go in the door. And for some reason, these cameras, I don't know how all these ring cameras just catch the car pulling off. And when they get off that block, the city cameras catch it turning the corner. And I'm like, how the fuck do these cameras catch this shit? I mean, it's unbelievable how society is how everything is so much linked with the cameras. You got the phone cameras, the ring cameras, the city cameras. Technology is so advanced that it's just amazing how you can, like, you can go on Google Maps and you can pull up your house and they can see you doing gardening.
Google Maps, like that's for years, believe it or not. Google Earth came out 25 years ago.
Let me tell you something. If you was on work compensation, you did something and you was doing something outside the house, Google Maps, and they pulled up their house to see where you at, and they seen you carrying something in the house on your back, well, you in trouble. Mm-hmm. You're in trouble like I don't know what. Because then it's unbelievable that too. Yeah, and see, and you got the drones. Yeah. You got drones, you got the ring cameras, you got the city cameras. Then you got cameras inside the stores you go in. You got the cameras in the hospital. No matter where you go, there's cameras.
Okay, but I did have. All right, listen. Situations other than sexual situations where it would be where it could be considered a violation for somebody to record you with, but they might still record you. So like I said, oh shit. Man, they both dropped off the line. This is technical difficulty tonight. You know, we've had technical difficulties on this show before, but they are rocking with this tonight. So both callers are going to have to call back in. I can help. Let me see. Let me see.
Hello?
Hey, caller with the last number is 0128. Thank you for listen, we got cut off. So I was calling you back. I took the liberty of doing that. I hope that isn't a violation to you. All right.
No, that's fine.
All right, hold on a second.
You have a call from
Troy.
Yo, the app just dropped off. It's doing what it want to do tonight. Like this.
You talking about violation. He hung up on you too, Troy. He hung up on us.
He just don't like us. He don't like us.
This is like the fifth time he did something like this, bro.
Well, I bet y'all answer those questions correctly this time. You know what I mean? Play around with me if you want. I warned you. I
was talking and everything.
I was too.
I was like, and then, so I was actually in the process of asking, when we're talking about a violation, a non-sexual violation, are we talking about like fight videos, that sort of thing?
Well, no, because if somebody tapes you fighting somebody, that's not necessarily a violation of you. You ain't got no business being out in the public. You know what I mean? Fight. I mean, that's those. I'm talking about
more. It doesn't have to be a public fight. It can be a fight, in the house,
a private fight,
and a family member or a neighbor starts to record it.
Well, it's probably only a violation when you post that shit, and everybody is screaming "World Star" on the goddamn video. Like when your mom starts screaming "World Star, World Star," you know that you are not in good company. You know what I mean? Like, so, but
but I got one though.
Okay,
I got one. So, over the last, I want to say 4 or 5 years, there've been videos that I consider a violation, where people were recording their friend or significant other admitting that they are gay or bisexual, and then they posted it online. Now, unfortunately, we're gonna have to pour some out for the niggas that ain't here because the person who they recorded, at least the ones that I'm referencing, are now in jail for offing the people who posted it online because of the trauma behind that violation. And to me, that is a violation. If somebody's opening up to you, whether you agree with that lifestyle or not, it is not your fucking place to then make it public and show it to the rest of the world. That's my opinion on that. Exposing something like that. But I think that's a violation. In my opinion, that's a straight violation. To post when somebody first of all, to record it in the first place without their consent, and then to post it for the world to see.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that, and that's somewhere along the lines of the phone call being recorded to me. You know what I mean? But yeah, personal conversations or whatever. Like you have to consider that if your therapist or something like that did some shit like that, they would lose their license over that.
Well, I mean, look at the situation with Shannon Sharp. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That situation, the audio, she audioed that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She audioed their conversation. And I mean, as stupid as he was to play the Gilligan, because that was some gump shit that he did. He should have known he was being audioed. But at 50 some years old, if you didn't know that, then shit, you named Gilligan.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it was she recorded a conversation. Now, it's not going to be admissible in court, but everybody knows what the conversation was. So everybody knows how he talks and how he conducts himself when it comes to a woman or that particular young woman or whatever. So, regardless of whether you get cased up over it or not now, look at your public image. Now he's off of Fox. He's off of Fox. No, he wasn't on Fox. He was on ESPN. You know what I mean? Talking about something. He's stepping down. He's stepping down, all right. After he got after he got that notice, like, yo, you the fuck on up out of here. What we gonna do is we gonna let you look look like you got on up out of here. And that also killed his money of that 50 million that he was supposed to get, or was it 100? Whatever.
100 million.
Well, he actually said that he was stepping down until after the start of the new NFL season. Is what he said.
Yeah, wait for
it. But I was like, yeah. Here you go.
Wait for it. Wait for it. He's gone. But yeah. Like it could, one of the situations that it could be a violation for you to record. Let's say it was an event, a private event, where you were going to actually sell footage of that event. You know what I mean? Like it could be something that you were going to sell DVDs with. Maybe you hired your own photographer and all of that. So you didn't want anybody recording this event except for the photographers that you paid, the videographers that you paid. Now that could be a wedding where people could look at it like a grift, but maybe instead of asking everybody to buy wedding gifts and stuff like that, like, listen, all I want y'all to do is buy the DVD of the video. We're going to sell our wedding to y'all. You know what I'm saying? So we'll pay for everything, but for all the guests, we request that y'all pay $20 for each DVD, and the DVDs will be available to y'all. We'll send y'all the footage of it. Maybe not a DVD. Maybe they'll send it to you in MP4 format or whatever to your email addresses or whatever. But so I don't want anybody recording, because everything that y'all need to see in this wedding is going to be recorded. Even the pictures of you and the groom, and just what our videographers are taping everybody. Everybody put your phones away. I don't want to see any pictures. I don't want to see anybody's phones out. This is a totally private event, but all you have to do, if you want to take a picture, even with just your kids, your friends, if you're in this event, we have photographers and videographers that will do anything that you want. And any pictures that you want will be sent to you, and you'll be able to approve the pictures, and so you'll see that they were recorded or shot the way that you like them.
Mm-hmm.
And you find out under the table, people been like, they've been taping and all of that. It's like, yo, I prevented you from having to go out and have go to the wedding registry or whatever. When you have your gifts coming from a particular place, like a wedding registry or baby shower registry or whatever. Y'all didn't have to do that. You didn't have to buy no Cuisinarts, no Oster, no Hamilton Beach, no KitchenAid, y'all didn't have to do none of that. All I asked y'all to do was respect the fact that we paid these goddamn photographers and these caterers, and we were going to make a way for everybody to be able to contribute to this wedding and not have to come out of their pocket for anything. And y'all couldn't keep from doing that. So you find out that people recorded at the event and didn't buy the DVD.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying?
Man, that's a violation.
Yeah, so there are a few non-sexual ways that somebody may have recorded something. You know what? Oh my God, this is a good one. And I should have thought about this one out the gate. Back in 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018, when we were doing our walks, we were doing our hikes, and we would do our exercise sessions. And I used to tape all of our exercise sessions and post them. Now, I know for a fact that a lot of people didn't come to those exercise sessions, even though they were free and they were good. And we wasn't like Planet Fitness or LA Fitness. I had real people with real weight issues and that were really coming, doing their thing, exercising hard, getting in good shape, dropping pounds, feeling better, avoiding illnesses and health, negative health conditions and shit like that. And I'm thinking like, this is a great thing. But a lot of people did not sign up and did not show up. Why? Because they didn't like the fact that I was recording it and I was posting it and I was showing people. Because my thing was always these videos that they have, that they show of people working out and losing weight. These are people who are already in shape. My shit was people you can clearly see. People got a little, you can pinch more than an inch. They got little rolls. They got a little cheese. You know what I mean? But they was working and getting, you see us, music is playing. I'm like a drill sergeant. This is when, I was right. You know what I mean? Y'all seeing the fried chicken version. Before I was definitely the grilled. I was definitely the grilled and baked version. You know what I'm saying? It was good shit. I was the white meat before. You seeing? But anyway. But yeah, a lot of people like, I don't really want. They didn't want to tell me straight up like, I don't want to be taped. I don't want to be seen.
That's why I didn't go. That's why I didn't go.
Well,
I don't want my struggle being taped. Well, I'm okay with it now. But back then, I was heavier. Nope.
Well, are you serious?
Yeah, I'm dead ass.
Okay, because I did find out.
I ain't mean to go back. I ain't mean to go back to New York on you.
Okay. No, on some real shit. I couldn't point out the people who didn't come because of that. But I found out, like, oh shit, they didn't like the fact that I was taping it. I'm all proud.
I was like, yeah, I'm gonna be there a couple of times. I was excited about it, and then I saw, like video. I thought, oh shit. Well, hold on a minute, and I was still gonna do it, but between my work schedule and that being in my head, I was like, I don't know.
I know I lost a lot of people because of that. What I thought was interesting about it was other platforms that were charging a lot of money, like Black Girls Run and all of that shit. They would tape in too. But they were already purple label. You know what I mean? They was already on Def Jam Bad Boy.
But that's different because yours was a more that's different because yours was a more intimate setting. So
even with the hikes?
Yeah, when I say intimate, meaning like Black Girls Run was like, I don't know, it felt like a big movement, but yours it felt personalized. So
okay.
So I don't know if you get what I'm saying. But
I do. I have a different perspective on it, but I get it.
It's the difference between having a personal trainer and going to the group class.
Okay.
I don't fucking like group classes. I'd rather have a personal trainer.
Okay.
Or work out by myself.
Okay. All right. Okay,
Yeah.
I see what you're saying. And I was oblivious to that in the beginning because I'm like, when I'm thinking totally from the standpoint of when people start to, they start to work out. They find themselves getting stronger, having more endurance, stamina, and they're starting to look better. I'm thinking like, they're going to be so proud of themselves, and seeing their progression. But everybody doesn't. Look, the revolution ain't to be televised with some people.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And
my thing is that I take videos of myself all the time working out, like legit. So that's now though. So when I'm not 300 pounds. So I mean, but yeah.
but
you realize what it was.
Well, I realized it back then, but it was already too late. By that time, I had hours of video already uploaded. And from my standpoint, I was like, I'm doing this shit from the muscle. This was my way of giving back. I wasn't asking for no money. I was putting more money in it than I was ever getting. You know what I'm saying? So Cheryl Hudson know what I'm talking about. She was at every one of those damn sessions. So she know, we was getting it in. Shit was crazy. So, but yeah, a lot of people.
I would have came to some of them, but I didn't want to mess up none of my jokes with losing all the weight,
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, it was a legitimate concern. It was a legitimate concern. I said I hear you. It was a legitimate concern. You know what I mean? One thing I don't want to do is take money. Yeah, God forbid you would have to change your set around. You know what I mean? Like Monique.
Fuck being healthy.
But yeah, but on some real shit, I know I understood more after that. You know what I'm saying? But it was already too late. But and to be real with you, I didn't really want to deal with nobody who didn't want to put themselves out there like that. Because I'm like, listen, when you are, my thing was this: if you're overweight, you're overweight. So if you're ashamed of people seeing you improve yourself, but you're okay with people seeing you stay in your current state, so you don't mind nobody publicly seeing you out at eating a fat-filled dinner, you know what I'm saying, at a restaurant or something like that. But you think that they're going to tease you about picking up some weights or going on a run or getting some good cardio or doing some floor exercises. You know what I'm saying? Like I still hold that position. Like where are your priorities?
You hold that position from without being able to relate. Not
How?
You because you hold that position from not being able to relate on the same level as the people like myself who was 300 pounds. You know what you look like back then? You look like dude from the Fantastic Four.
No, I wasn't that cut. I looked at those. No. I'm glad you said that because that's a certain perspective. But I go back and look at those videos. I wasn't big. With clothes on. Yeah, I'm looking like mad. I'm looking like I'm in the muscle suit. But
I think you're missing the point, though. I think you're missing the point of somebody who, like myself, I used to be an athlete, and then I wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had the car accident, so I couldn't, do everything that I was doing before. Next thing I know, I'm 300 pounds. So
security skipped there.
Yeah, and so somebody who's fit and training a group of people is saying, well, if you're not going to put yourself out there, then I can't really fuck with it. That's very, very intimidating and it's isolating. It's especially if you already have insecurities.
Okay. I understand what you're saying to a certain degree, but I wasn't secretly taping anybody. Everybody already knew. I'm just using this as an example of where people shied away because they knew that they were going to be on tape. So I was using this as an example to say, like, if people will, if you already know what people are afraid of or what concerns they have, why would you think that you would be able to violate them in a more intimate or private setting? But just to expound on what I was saying about the whole exercise thing, you know, stepping outside of your comfort zone, like I don't, okay. Getting up to 300 pounds takes a whole lot of stepping outside of your comfort zone for anybody. If you're coming from 200 pounds and getting to 300 pounds, you're eating or living an unhealthy lifestyle on your way to 100 pounds, because it's not that easy or fast to gain 100 pounds. So I'm thinking, like, along that way, you are showing people your lack of discipline or whatever. And I'm not even trying to diss, but you are putting that on display when you have
I have kids back to back.
Like I said, I'm not even personalizing this to you. I'm not personalizing this to you. I'm just saying what my motivation was for showing, for recording. Because I'm like, you know, I know for a fact that when we started working out outside, you know, people brought their blankets or they yoga mats or whatever. People used to drive by and be like, yeah, y'all do that shit. And I'm thinking, and that made the people who was doing it feel good. Like they felt supported.
Inspiration.
Yeah.
It inspired them.
And it was real shit. People pulling over. They pulling over in their cars. Like, yo, what are y'all doing over there? Like, yo, you know, we getting it in over here. And, you know, we'll be here every other Saturday, you know, because this is when we were exercising outside before we started doing the hikes and all of that kind of shit. So this is before we had a place like the rec center that we was at, where we could do it indoors. I was like, okay, since we don't have a spot of our own, we will do our shit where we don't have to pay anything. So I'm like, bring your yoga mats out. We exercising in the park. Whoever want to be a part of it, come on. And I take the shit. And so, like I said, people used to be pulling over in their cars like, yo, man, y'all doing your thing. Because I'm like, you watch TV and you see skinny people. Oh yeah, I'm getting healthy. I'm getting in shape. The fuck out of here. You already there. You seeing us actually put in the pain to get where you are. And it was working. So I'm like,
and the thing,
you can't get anywhere. You can't get anywhere. Hold on. You can stay in your comfort zone as long as you want. But trust me, to somebody else, it's not. You're not in the comfort zone for them. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, and I still feel passionate about it because I'm like, until you get over the whole embarrassment thing and the whole, well, you know, I don't want nobody, you know, seeing me without the fuck out of here. They already saw you. They see you. But what would you rather do? Would you rather be seen improving yourself or staying with the way you are and hiding it with waist trainers and fucking and all that other shit? You know what I'm talking about. All that other shit that people do to try to make themselves look like they don't look, instead of actually looking the way you look, but working on it. Because no matter what, if you really want to get my goat, insult people who are doing better for themselves. Now you got a fight on your hands. You know what I'm saying? Because all that old, you know, you want to tease motherfuckers because they are actually, you know, getting out there and doing something, recognizing their condition and taking the steps to improve their condition. That's who you want to laugh at? Well, you're going to be crying about it. Because I would actually get violent over that shit. Like, you're not doing that shit. You know what I'm saying? You know, and we not fucking around like that. But you want to praise the, you know, I be seeing all these celebrities and all these people online with all this old makeup and all waist trainers and all this little old shit and make them look smaller than they are and all that. And people like, oh my God, yeah, 50 is the new 25. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. You know what I mean? All that shit is smoke and mirrors. But you know what's not smoke and mirrors? Sweat, effort, respiration and all that shit. That's real, and that's that shit. That's the shit that you don't have to put a waist trainer on. That's the shit that you don't have to use Ozempic and Wegovy and all that shit. You actually doing it, and you're going to feel better, organically better. And anybody who has ever felt organically better through better diet and exercise, they know, like, shit, I'll take this any day over that shit. You know, over the makeup and the filters. Oh, don't forget the filters. The filters. People hiding their skin, hiding their hair, hiding their, like, oh, now it's cool to have freckles.
Can I say something real quick, son?
Yes.
You know, it's like this, man. I'm a big guy, right? And when you met, I've lost weight, I've gained weight, but I'm a big guy. But there's nothing you can say to me that can destroy my self-esteem or make me insecure, because I already know I'm the shit. So if I'm on stage doing comedy, I'm the shit. In the kitchen, when I'm cooking, I already tell you I'm the shit. I tell you I'm the shit when I'm cooking, when I finish cooking, after I'm cooking, when I put my uniform on, I tell you. I say, you might as well get the bathroom tissue. They say, why? Because I'm the shit. So when you walk around with an attitude, whether you 200 pounds and you the shit, you're gonna be 300 pounds and still be that same shit. But you're gonna be that shit losing weight while you out there working out. There's nobody that can judge you more than you can judge yourself. Nobody that can judge you more than you can judge yourself. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. I don't give a fuck. I stopped giving a fuck about what people. Comedy took away every fucking insecurity that I ever had in my life. And some will get on this phone and tell you that he knows the joke, my bread and butter joke that I do. And that tells you I don't care what you think about me. I love every bit of who I am and who I can be, who I am as a man and as a person. So if you look at me and say ill, I'll say, hey, ill means good sometimes too, baby. Ill means good, because at the end of the day, you have to judge you. You're your worst critic. You know what I'm saying? So you just sat up here and said you didn't have 2 kids, you did that and all that. You got the excuses on gaining the weight. So, and this was back in the past stuff. But at the same token, you the shit. You always gotta have that in your head that you the shit. Not to say, and I'm gonna say it out of young, I'm that bitch. Hey, you know what I mean? I'm the shit. I'm always gonna walk around. So, I mean, son, me and son did comedy shows. He came off that stage. He went across the street. He still got my self-esteem like he said, Troy, it's sometimes I didn't even think you was gonna even get that bitch, and you got that bitch, Troy.
All right, let's get back on Troy. We already been off subject, but
coming from with that video. I know what you was coming from with that video.
Well, I'm just.
I can understand why she felt what she felt, but
there is no right or wrong. You know what I mean? No. What I experienced was what I experienced. Her perspective is her perspective. She's not wrong. You know what I mean? She was echoing exactly what I had found out. But like I said, I had already had hours of the video already uploaded. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, you know, it wasn't like I was taping people without their knowledge. That was my advertising. So the same way that Planet Fitness and LA Fitness advertised their models and all that shit, I was advertising real people. And people did come. It just didn't blow up like a lot of people, like a lot of other movements and shit that people have to pay. First of all, you know, black people don't like nothing that they don't have to pay for. It's one of our biggest flaws. When we don't have to pay for something, we think it's not worth anything. Mm-hmm. It's sad, but it's true. It's sad, but it's true. It don't. We was going on those hikes, and every single person who went on those hikes said, yo, this shit is dope. This shit is fly. They never saw the park like that before. They never worked out like that before. They never had fun in a group like that before. They never experienced nothing like that before. But the motherfuckers will go to Black Girls Run and whoever and pay. And actually have to pay dues. and they wasn't getting it in like we was. They wasn't. They just wasn't.
The videos did look a lot like a lot of fun. That's why I said I always waffle plus my work schedule. But initially I didn't know that there was going to be taping involved. I think I mentioned that earlier.
Okay.
Yeah. So I had no idea that was going to be a thing until I saw it online after a few times of it being done.
Yeah.
So, then I had to make a decision.
Hey, listen. Life be life, and some people just legitimately couldn't make it or couldn't make it back when they went the first time. I get it, but I always have to concern myself with the psyche, with the human psyche. Because it's a real thing. It can't be measured. And people can say whatever they want to about it. People work the way that they work. They don't work mathematically. They don't work logically, consistently all the time. So you have to deal with what you're dealing with. And I ain't even mad about all of that. But when we're talking about, somebody taping you or recording you without your consent, or without your knowledge or consent, that's a violation. It just is. Now we can deal with the psychological nature of that, but at the end of the day, we can either victim shame and say, well, it's not like they sold the video or really put you out there like that. But you can't be nobody can put a value, a monetary value, or even a moral value on your feelings. You know what I mean? What it takes to build up trust and respect in your eyes, that's on you. And when somebody violates that, but they want to get it back, or they want to pretend like they didn't really do anything to lose it in the first place, well, that's a problem. And unfortunately, sometimes those problems exist with our girlfriends, boyfriends, wives, husbands, brothers, sisters, cousins, aunts, uncles, mothers, fathers, friends, best friends, long-term friends, co-workers, neighbors. It happens. So when somebody takes the liberty of violating you and they also find humor in it, well, okay, now what do we do from here? What do we do from here? If you choose violence, now you're wrong. But if you choose not to do anything about it, you could be wrong in the eyes of some people too. So you're kind of in a lose-lose situation. So you might as well choose the way you want to lose, right? I mean, since camera phones, video phones, and all that shit came out, it has given us more and more. What do these cell phone manufacturers, what do they upgrade year after year after year on these cell phones consistently? The camera.
Yep, that's all that's the only thing they do update.
Especially on iPhone, you don't hear them talking about upgrading call quality. People ain't even using a phone to talk anymore. You don't hear them talking about, we've upgraded texting to the point where blah, blah, blah. They are upgrading AI, which has a lot to do with the camera. Now, AI isn't restricted to the camera, but it consumes a lot of the functions of the camera. And so that's something that we have to deal with. That's something that we have to deal with. But people will take liberty in just taping you. I got a good one for y'all. Let's see what y'all think about this. Let's say you took the liberty, or somebody took the liberty. Let's say you were gravely ill or terminally ill, and somebody is filming, maybe you're going through chemo or radiation or something like that, and they're taking pictures of you, and maybe that's not how maybe you were already on the fence about getting the radiation or the chemo treatments and stuff like that. But you're going through the treatments, and then somebody is showing is taping or taking pictures of you and posting them online and stuff like that. Now maybe they feel like, well, I want to bring attention to my friend that's battling cancer, and I really love them and I'm concerned about them and I'm fighting for them. I want y'all to I want to get my prayer warriors out. But maybe your friend didn't appreciate you taking those pictures. Maybe they had ambitions of growing their hair back, gaining more weight, hopefully getting the cancer into remission, and leaving the negative looking part behind. But you already took the liberty of taping them or taking pictures of them, and you may have done it when they were in their not vegetative state, but maybe they were after you're weak and not really in the best mental space when you're going through those treatments. You understand what I'm saying? So the family might have a problem with that. Like, yo, why are you posting those videos? You know what I'm saying? Like, I've seen people who were going through cancer, and they were battling cancer hard and whatever. And the pictures that they were posting online of the person may have been old pictures of them when they were healthier and all of that. I know that happened with me one time when my ex, her mom was battling cancer, and she was already stage 5. I didn't even know there was a such thing as stage 5 cancer. So she was just waiting to transition. And I went to go see her thinking that the same pictures that I was seeing of her online was how she was looking. I didn't realize she was so sick. She was bedridden. She was on her way out of here. She died the next week. And when I saw her, I was like, how, I didn't want to be like, oh my God, you know what I'm saying? But I know that I probably showed that, that I was surprised because, she was a nice lady and but I didn't know that they were protecting her image like that by posting older pictures of her when she had her hair, when she was healthy, when she wasn't battling the cancer in the stages that she was now. I saw a woman that was gravely ill, and I never saw her again after that first visit. I told her that I was going to come back and see her. She didn't have no time left. It was over. So I thought about that when that happened. I said, okay. It was important to the family that she looked some kind of way. My man Steve, who passed away from pancreatic cancer, he succumbed to cancer in 2017. His peoples didn't even let him have an open casket. So the last time you saw Steve was the way that he looked when you saw him the last time. You didn't get to see him in the state that he was when he passed. And I remember thinking about that, like, why would you have a closed casket? But that was their choice. And sometimes you just have to respect people's choices. You understand what I'm saying? You don't have to like it all the time. You have to respect it all the time. So that was my little John on that. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, so taping people without their consent and all that. Sometimes people will put you in a position where you can't do that. And you may not like it. It may frustrate you. You may feel like you're doing something noble or something helpful or whatever. Well, sometimes you have to wait for people to get where you are with your nobility and your helpfulness. Y'all good?
Well, yeah, I'm listening to you.
Listening.
We wanted to hear this.
No. Y'all was listening so hard. Y'all was listening so hard. I thought I heard somebody. I thought I heard somebody snore. I'm like, oh shit! It is after 4 o'clock. You know what I'm saying? I was like, oh shit! I'm losing them, son.
We have an overtime period because you started the show late anyway.
Don't listen. I already know that, and I already let it go through. Now, but don't mess it up because I'm still mean. I'm still mean. So you know, shit, it's late. Real late, you know what I'm saying?
I want to ask, all this time I've been on the phone, is this T. Carey right? Oh,
Are you asking me?
yeah.
No.
I wanted to know what it was. I wanted to say hi. I keep seeing all the names popping up. I never get to really sure. I'm always going to say hi.
I only know this caller. I only know this caller by last 4 digits.
You know, I like to let when I talk on this phone, I like to let say hi to family. I think of everybody that's in this. That's the originals. Your originals that I know you so very well. Them originals like the T. Carey Wright and the Cheryl, the Kims, and all them other people that's been dealing with you for years.
Let me put it to you like this.
Well, hold on. I have been dealing with him for years, but I've actually said my name on the stream before. You know, quite honestly, even if I was, I wouldn't say, because I want to be able to tell my story or share my information. You know, without being directly associated,
no problem.
You know, with any particular person. But you have seen.
Well, I mean, I always use my middle name anyway. My middle name Troy. My first name Handsome. So.
Okay, cool. There are some people. Listen. Let me just tell you this. There are some people who support this program or support this who support this platform that you're never going to see or hear call in. Yeah, and T. Carey Wright might be one of those. There are more. You know what I mean?
I can tell.
You know,
but the thing is, even if they don't call in, that's why I had to pull it up on my YouTube page so I can get the chat room on there, because some of the things people be saying in the chat while I'm on my cell phone be so on point. I'll be like, I gotta read this shit. I gotta really get to see what they're saying, because the knowledge and the wisdom that I can attain from that is something that I want to see. I just don't want to be on the phone talking and I can get some from you, or I can get some of this other wisdom from other people. You know what I'm saying?
No, I get that.
You know,
from what, as long as I've been doing this show, I don't normally ask people their names. You know what I mean? Because I understand the power that anonymity can grant to people, and I don't want them to lose their power. I want you to feel as powerful as possible. But
no problem.
But I do want to read this comment by Yo, because this is a good question. And he or she asks, how do you think it's going to continue to evolve with younger generations becoming desensitized to lack of privacy with people's recordings? Good question. Really good question. I think that
we've already seen the deterioration. It's happening right now as we speak.
Okay.
It's happening right now. We're not going to have to wait a long time. Yeah, we're not going to have to wait a long time to see it get worse. It's happening right now. It's happening right now. What privacy? There is no privacy, and they feel like they have the right. They feel like they have the right to violate your privacy. It is their right. They feel entitled to it, to do so, to violate your privacy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think that it's going to get worse, and I don't think that it's just. I don't blame it on just the younger generations. Us Generation Xers are nosy as fuck, and the more we try to deny that shit, I just be looking like, We was the one doing the three-way calling. We were the ones that we got the party line started before we had internet, before the internet was a thing. With the party lines, with the three-way calling, and all that kind of shit. But we have been in each other's business for a long time, and we employ techniques that are being used today. And so we as much as we want to blame it on the millennials, blame it on the Gen Zs, we got it popping. And who's to say that the baby boomers didn't get it started before us?
It takes me out because they sit back and say, they up here and talk about, like right now, they talk about group chats. Women had group chats before group chats was group chats. They just called these gatherings.
Well, if you want to talk about violating somebody's privacy, us Generation Xers, remember our baby boomer parents, remember them picking up the line while you were talking to a girl or a boy on the line, and them just listening, telling you to either get off the phone, or like my mom would do, like, you ain't gotta get off the phone, but just know, I'm just hearing what's being said on the phone that I pay for, so it's all good.
Oh my God. For real?
She thinks she ain't give a fuck. She ain't give a fuck. She's like, y'all talking heavy. Yo,
are you serious?
Yeah, I'm dead serious. My mom would pick up the phone. She was just being a smart ass. She wasn't even no bad parent, but she was a smart ass. Like, I'm on the phone heating it up with Tara. You know what I mean? I'm rapping with Tara, and my mom pick up the phone just on some random, asshole shit. Like,
oh my God!
And and remember, you would hear somebody pick up the other line. Yeah. It had that click. It had that distinctive click. You know what I mean? Like, whoa. Somebody, we are not alone. Your mom picked up the phone.
Traumatized.
Shit.
Oh my God!
I just
my mom would just be like, I need to use the phone. She would just say, I need to use the phone. You can't hold up my phone all night.
She didn't even.
My mom would get on the phone. My mom would get on the phone and say, I need the damn phone.
My mom didn't want to use. She didn't want to use the phone. She wanted to listen. Like, go ahead. Yeah. Just go ahead and talk. I used to be like, yo, this lady tripping.
She was tripping. You paying the bill tomorrow? My mom, you paying the bill tomorrow? All right, that's what you ask you paying the bill.
Yeah. I ain't gonna lie. If my mom had done what your mom did, I would have been shocked the first time. And then the second time, I would have been like, so you gonna suck my titties? And then she would have gotten off the phone.
Say what?
So, I straight, listen.
And then my older brother, one time I was on the phone with a girl. He wanted to get on the phone. I'm on the phone. We got in a fight. He thought he was gonna whoop my ass. I threw them three jabs to that forehead until he put me on top of the trash and wouldn't let me get up, and he bloodshot my eyes. But one thing, he had that phone, but I know one thing, that hot water he got thrown on him early in the morning, he ain't like that.
I'll bet he didn't.
I'm a designated bitch when you do some shit to me, boy.
Man,
I mean, for real.
But yeah, so
all that.
By the way, I was joking. I wouldn't have said a thing about the titties.
Oh, I definitely didn't believe that. I didn't believe that. You would have been in the Hall of Fame. You would have been in the Hall of Fame. Ain't a teenager I know that would do no shit like that.
Please, if my family members heard that, they're like, shit, you wouldn't have done that to mommy. Yeah.
They still would have been talking about you at the family reunion.
They sure would have. You would have with the phone all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Well, your mom is in the Hall of Fame, son, doing that.
Shit, my mom wouldn't. She ain't invent that shit. Well, at least my mom didn't make me get off the phone. She didn't. She listened, but she ain't never do nothing like, he can't use the phone, or who is this that my son is talking to? And are you, she didn't violate. She was just, like I said, she would only do it when she was in a certain type of, like little humorous mood. But she would pick up that phone. I would hear the click. I'd be like, yo, mom, you got to use the phone? She's like, nope. I got to listen on the phone. Go ahead. You just go ahead and keep talking. You think I stayed on that phone?
You hit it with the lip smack. Nope.
I didn't. My mom, she had a sense of humor then, and it was interesting. It was interesting, but I wasn't mad at it. I mean, listen. It was a good trade-off. I've never not been able to have company. I've never not been able to, go places and do things and all of that. So an occasional interruption of a phone call where I might have been burning up the line. Shit, my sisters violated my phone call, the phone more than my mom. They thought that because they was older than me, that they just had phone superiority. Like, oh, I gotta use the phone. I'm like, I'm already on this phone. You know what I mean? Like, they was like, nah, like, and I've actually fed into it for a while until I saw that my middle sister wasn't giving way to my oldest sister. I was like, oh, now hold on. I ain't gonna be the only respectful motherfucker out of the three. You know what I mean? Like, shit. Hey, I'm getting sunned out of phone time, valuable phone time. Like, I'm making something. These calls are important.
Can you imagine something though? Can you imagine if they had social media back when we was young and the shit that would have been on them with us on there?
Nah.
Oh my God, man.
It's Throwback Thursday, right? Remember, we had slam books and shit like that. Nasty asses. A lot of motherfuckers forgot about them damn slam books. Yeah, all that nasty shit. You know what I mean?
What book?
Slam books. Slam books.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. All your little dirty, nasty ass teenage secrets and fantasies and that shit. And you was innocent because you didn't sign your name. Everybody knew who the fuck you was. They knew.
Because I know whose handwriting that is.
Exactly. They knew you by your. Who needs the internet? They already had your IP address. That was your handwriting.
Let me just. I went to Catholic school. Hold on, real quick, Troy. I'm gonna say that I'm gonna get right off of it. I went to Catholic school for a couple of years, and so like they teach you how to write a certain way. Mm-hmm. So everybody always fucking knew what my answers were. So after I peeped that people knew what my answers were, I started putting the most innocent shit down there. I couldn't even be honest in the slam book because people knew my handwriting. This shit was crazy.
Slam book, man. You know what I mean? A lot of people forgot about.
I was getting ready to say, I'm glad that they didn't have cell phones back when I was a kid, because the stupid shit I used to do, and my mom allowed me to do it, would have fucked me up, man. Like, I used to get mad at my siblings for bothering me, and I used to beat their shoes up. Like, literally fight their shoes.
What am I hearing?
She let me do that. My mom let me go over there and fuck their shoes up.
Fight?
Beat them up, fight them, punch them. I knew
just the shoes, not their feet, but their shoes.
Not their feet, but their shoes.
He's a shoe beater.
And then,
wait, hold on, Troy.
So hold on,
Troy.
When the shows, listen to this shit. When the Grammys and the Oscars used to come on, guess what I used to do? I used to throw my Sunday suit on and be part of the audience. See, that's the shit that I'm glad there's no
Troy.
video or no camera of this shit.
Troy. Shoe fighter. Shoe fighter.
I used to fuck this shoe up. I hit it with an uppercut, boy, throw it around the room. Oh, I fucked these niggas and shit up, man. Yo, your brand new sneaks sure do look sweet. You rock the shoes, but you rock the shoes, but you fucked up my feet. And the fucked up thing is that my mom let me do it. And then she enticed me to go ahead over there. Oh, you know you can't beat them. Go fuck their shoes up.
All right. It's 4:23 in the morning. I'll put in my time, my extra time. I want to thank y'all for coming through. I appreciate y'all calling in, giving y'all testimony, your accounts, your insight, your input. I really appreciate y'all calling in. Sorry about for those of y'all who've been rocking with us from minute one. Sorry about all the technical difficulties in the beginning. Thanks for rocking with us. I want to give a shout out to everybody in the chat before I go ahead and do these birthday shout outs. And I didn't do the poll results, so I'm gonna do that too. Shout out to Confused Old Man. I see you getting it in the chat. Shirley Cheryl, the world's most precious and greatest pearl in the world. Yo, and Joe Nell, and also Naturalista Rap. Thanks for coming through. Haven't seen you in a while. Always good to see you. Always good to see you. And hold on, Gabrielle Abadayo. Appreciate you coming through. Appreciate all of y'all. I just want to make sure that everybody gets honorable mention. If I didn't get a chance to write it in the chat, I don't want y'all to think that y'all are invisible or unrecognizable or unimportant, because every input is important. Carrie Zilla was good.
And if you didn't hit that like,
Carrie, right?
That like.
David Figueroa. Oh yeah, please hit the like button. Yeah, we light on the likes. We are light on the likes. I ain't say nothing. I got so caught up. I ain't say nothing about the likes the whole program. Hunk news was good. All right, let's do these. Let's do the poll results. Okay. All right. Out of 32 votes, the question was, if your man, woman, or spouse taped you having sex but didn't tell you until the end, what would you do? In other words, if somebody that you were involved with taped the sexual encounter between you and them, but didn't let you know about it until y'all were finished, and then they let you know that they had taped the whole thing, what would you do? All right, so 56%, which is a large amount, says that they would be angry and destroy the tape. 6% says be mad only if they didn't look good. Only 6%. I suspect that the actual number is higher than that, but we're gonna rock with that. 25% said watch the tape together. Like, all right, what's it's because to me, watching the tape together goes into being mad only if you didn't look good. You know what I'm saying? All right. And 12% says end the relationship and maybe even sue. Like, oh, hell no. My titties ain't going to be on display, and neither are my sagging balls. All right. But there is no wrong or right way to feel in this situation. But when you feel like somebody has violated you by taping, a sexual encounter, come on, man. People have lived and died by that. I will say this. I think that people are in a better space with their sexual behavior and activity. Even with this Diddy trial going on, people are less likely to lose jobs and have reputations ruined nowadays than they might have been before. You know, certain notable celebrities have made it through, even, you know, with certain things like this coming out, but they may have lost certain accolades that they had received. Like I know y'all old enough to remember the Vanessa Williams scandal, the first Black Miss America. You know, I
remember that magazine.
Yeah, when the pictures and the videos of her came out, you know, the racy photos and the little what could be considered gay, with lesbian, you know, situations in the video and all of that. But she was a pretty-eyed motherfucker, boy. That you know what I'm saying? She had her crown taken away. She lost her Miss America crown, but she had a few good albums, really good albums. She was a good singer.
That was though, because nowadays you can be first lady having some shit.
So Vanessa Williams literally paved the way for Melania.
And
this is the motherfucking thing she get.
I seen that copy of Penthouse.
And and this is the motherfucking thing she get. You know what I mean? Michelle Obama. Hold on. Michelle Obama. Hold on. Michelle Obama wrote Melania's speech because she plagiarized it, and Vanessa Williams gave her the blueprint of how to become first lady.
That's the truth. And the thing that fucks me up, right, son, is that they took her crown after she made my life better after I seen that magazine. When she was in Penthouse, she made my life better. My forearms got tighter.
Vanessa Williams was a very pretty woman, and she was a very good singer and a very good actress. She was extremely talented. But all of that shit could have ended her whole career. But
the fucked up part is she can sing her ass off too.
Listen.
She had some banging ass fucking songs.
Her albums, her tenacity and her talent shine through when all was said and done. I got to get you off the line, man. We not going. Not another fucking word. Not another motherfucking word. It's like, nah, go ahead.
I love y'all, man.
All right, man. I'll let y'all.
Thank you.
All right, peace, y'all. All right, let's do these birthday shout outs. We have some birthday shout outs to do. Some people were born on this glorious May 15th, and they deserve to be acknowledged. So let's go about our business of acknowledging them and making them feel special because they are special because they are special because they are SPECIAL. They get the RESPECT. They are SPECIAL. They get the RESPECT. They are SPECIAL. They get the RESPECT. They get number one out the box. Hold on. You're not the number one. Let me go to the real number one. Hold on, just 1 second. My cuz Bobby Neal, happy birthday to you, cuz, and also Michaela Iris and Lizanne Walcott, and hold on. They want to mess up the order. And my girl, go getter Leslie Harris. Happy birthday to you and Derek Wallace Sr. and Sarah Ocat. Happy birthday, and Lafayette Williams. And last but not least, no, that's not last but not least, my man Jesse Dawson and Nancy Gregory. I believe she's the last one. She is. I want to say happy birthday to all of y'all. And I hope that today finds you all a good health, happiness, mind, body, soul, and spirit. And that goes out to each and every person out there born on this glorious May 15th, anywhere out there in the world, worldwide, internationally, and universally. All of y'all go ahead and turn up. But don't turn up too loud. Just turn up loud enough so everybody can hear you. Rock out, rock on and do the rock out. Rock on and do the damn rock out. Rock on and do the damn thing. You do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. You do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. Good things happen to those who wait. Great things happen to those who grind. Anything can happen to those who go for theirs. So go hard, go for yours. And remember, man, listen, somebody tape you without your consent, without your knowledge. You can actually take legal action against them. But what's stronger in your view? Taking legal action against somebody or taking personal action against somebody? And I don't mean getting physical with them necessarily, but I mean making sure that somebody who may think that it's okay to violate you never gets a chance to do that again because you don't put yourself in harm's way. You don't put yourself in their presence. And you may be the very person that they want to have in their presence. If you can't, it's one thing to not be able to force somebody to respect you. But if you can't show somebody or teach somebody how to respect you or teach somebody or show somebody to respect you, we got a problem, Houston. We got a real problem. Nobody should have to deal with somebody who does not show them any favor or respect. Respect is due to a dog. And a lot of people do respect their dogs. So you mean to tell me you can respect a furry friend with a wagging tail and tongue hanging out, but you can't respect your own brother and your sister, your aunts, uncles, cousins, mom, dad, sisters, and brothers, neighbors, friends, co-workers, and classmates? Nah, son, put the phone down. You know, if what you're doing is in any way of respectful or noble nature, let them know what you're doing. You might find the freak in somebody you didn't even know existed. Shoot, a lot of women really start showing out. They literally start showing their ass. I don't know if you had sex with a woman who wouldn't show their ass, but I've definitely had sex with some that wouldn't show their titties. Tomorrow night on the Daily Go Getimism show, we'll be talking about music. The Music Friday show is always a good time. And we start at 1 o'clock instead of 2 o'clock tomorrow night. We start at 1 o'clock tomorrow night instead of 2 o'clock. Make sure y'all come through. We will have a musical topic tomorrow night. Y'all know we always have a great time with the music show on Friday night. So make sure y'all come on through and have a good time. Peace to all my day ones, my everydays, and my brand news. I love y'all to death. Resuscitate y'all. I love y'all right back to life. Please make sure y'all hit the like button on your way up out of here. Hit the like button, share the show, subscribe to the channel. Thank you everybody who came on through. I hope to see you again real soon tomorrow night, 1 o'clock. Peace, y'all.